So even the Arabs, whether they be in Saudi Arabia, wherever they be, anywhere over there, they really know the truth. They know that those now some of them are in connection with those in the state of Israel, because the state of Israel is a lot more powerful than you think it is in terms of you know the specific head honchos that they have over there, and certain high ups in Israel have connects with certain high ups in Saudi Arabia, and certain high ups in every other country, everywhere else in the world as well. So there's always going to be somebody in everybody's government that are linked and tied to Jewish Zionists. That's how the Jewish Zionists get what they want. They infiltrate governments, and then they give people offers that they can't refuse. Okay? So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what nationality you are or what religion you are. At the end of the day, you're all subject to Satan. Satan will do whatever he wants to do, and he don't care what you stand on. If you get out of line and you get out of pocket, Satan gonna deal with you. Especially if you don't have the mark on your forehead, which is trust in Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? So, that's who Yahuwah said. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And Yahuwah shall scatter thee among all the people. Who? Black folk. So the children of Israel, as I just read in the Surah, are actually the black people, right? It's telling you right there in the Honorable Quran. Now, I'm not going to call that scripture, but we know that black people are being told in these scriptures, all throughout these scriptures, that we are the children of Abraham, we are the children of Yahuwah. Now, as concerning for us black people, us Negroes, I got something for y'all. But first, let me go ahead and finish this excerpt. Deuteronomy, let me read it now. Deuteronomy 28, chapter 64 to 68. And Yahuwah shall scatter thee among who? Black people. Among all people. So we're scattered among all people if you just do your research. We're all over the place. We're in Australia, we're over here in America, we're in Britain, we're in England, we're everywhere. We're in Canada, right? We're in Africa. We're in Africa by the Gazabazillions. All types of African tribes. Zebulon, Igbo, just name it. Igbo, all types of tribes over there, right? And they're Israelites, right? So, and then he said, from one end, so he'll scatter us from one end of the earth even until the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So you're going to, so it's just, we do it here in America. Us black people, we serve other gods. We do it we do it in England. We do it in Canada. We do it in Australia. Okay? Wood and stone. That's because people they erect statues or monuments, and they use wood and stone to make these statues or monuments. And then the other nations, what they do is because they don't have a God. They don't have a true God. Now, don't get me wrong. Christ is the God he's the Elohim, meaning the creator of all flesh, all mankind. So really, he welcomes anybody. You don't have to be a black person. You can be a Caucasian person. You can be an Arab person. You can be a full African, full Hamite. You can be a Chinaman. Chinamen are very arrogant. All of the nations really are arrogant because they can't stand Revelations 1:14 and 15. They despise it, right? They also despise Isaiah. No, they also despise Daniel. What is it? 7 and 9, is it? They despise Revelations 1:14 and 15, and they despise Daniel 7 and 9. All the nations do. They can't stand it. They can't stand it with a fury passion, right? And they won't believe it, even though they know it's the truth. But guess what? The objective is not to get them to believe. The objective is to get you Negroes to believe. That's the objection. That's the objection. Okay? I'm trying to get you niggas, you black people, to understand who you are according to the scriptures. But the crazy thing is, you all already know. You already know. Now, I'm about to put this together. The reason why why I'm going to let you, you're going to soon see why I titled this message what I titled it. Forgot. Okay? So, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahuwah shall give thee there a trembling of heart and failing of eye. So now do any of us. Now, I got to be honest with you, right? None of us, I don't care who you are. I don't care your ethnicity. I don't care your religion. If you're a black person here in America, here in the United States, I don't care who you are. If you get pulled over, especially in Central America, or is it Central America, or is it the West Coast? Like, closer to the West Coast, like what it would be like, maybe in Alabama, or Ohio, or whatever, right? If you get pulled over by the police, even here in Philadelphia and in New York, you may not shake your boots, piss your pants, but there's always that sense of urgency. Like, play your cards. It's not that you really should be afraid, but you do have that understanding that something could go left. If you don't have that, you're lying if you don't have that understanding. Okay? Play your cards right. No need to jump tough with the police. That's cornball stuff. Give them your license, registration, whatever you got to give them. If it's not right, well, then it's not right. But, that's neither here nor there. Because many times in my past, when I was younger, I didn't have my stuff right. So I wasn't perfect in that regard. Of course, I'm an old man now, and I'd better have my stuff right. But I'm just saying, there's no need to jump tough with the cops. There's no need to do that. That's where most of the altercations. I'm not saying there are some dumbass many dumb cop situations where they just were racist. Oh, I understand that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying there's also a lot of situations that could have been avoided, right? So we need to humble ourselves as a people, and we need to have this understanding. So, not to lose my train of thought, but when it says here, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But Yahuwah shall give thee there a trembling heart and a failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. So a trembling heart means in certain situations, because of our skin color, we have to worry about attacks and all of these things, right? And then it's not just because you're black. It's because they know who you are according to the scriptures. It's not because of your skin color. I got a secret for y'all. It's never actually been because of your skin color. It's always been because of who you are according to the scriptures. The slave masters understood this. Trust me. They knew this. Okay? I'm going to get to my point, okay? So, and you're going to have a failing of eyes. I mean, you're going to see a lot. Well, soon there's going to be a lot of drama coming to black folk where you're going to have a trembling of eyes and sorrow. It's already happening. When there's somebody, when you're seeing black folk being executed right here in the streets, right? So you see these things with your eyes, and then you have a sorrow, right? But we're not even at the climax yet, right? The faster this truth spreads like a wildfire, the more drama that's going to start coming, okay? And thy life shall hang in doubt before you. And right here, and your life shall hang. Deuteronomy 64, 66. Now I'm on chapter 65, 60. Now I'm in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 66. And it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance for your life. Now, we're not at this point exactly just yet. There are actually some people, some Negroes in some states that actually do live like this now. We don't necessarily live like this just yet all over the United States, but it's coming, right? These things are coming. Let me say that again. Where he says, and your life shall hang in doubt before you, right? And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of your life. There will come a time in the near future where this will be the case, where you don't know whether you're going to make it to the next day because of the hatred for who you are according to the scriptures. A lot of people don't believe that this is happening, that this is going to happen. A lot of people in the other nations don't believe that this is going to happen, but a lot of black people don't believe this either. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning? For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes thou which shalt see. It's going to come a point where, if any of you have went and watched the movie Purge, like I asked you to watch, it's going to come a point in time, it's going to be just like that. But picture everybody that are in the streets. Picture it as all black folk, running to and fro, trying to survive. Now, it's going to be nation against nation too. So don't worry, because we would have no chance if there wasn't other commotion coming about. If all the other nations join forces together against us, which will happen in a small faction type of way, but not in a mass conduct. Hallelujah, because if that was the case, we would have no chance at all. And Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall rescue you. So many of you do not know about the transatlantic slave trade. Okay? That is the trade that occurred not too long before, let me see here. The Atlantic slave trade, or transatlantic slave trade of Euro-American slavery trade, involved the transportation by slave traders of various enslaved African people, mainly to the Americas. The slave trade regularly used a triangular during that transatlantic slave trade, for many of you that believe in Jesus, during that transatlantic slave trade, I want you all to know something. This happened during middle passage and existed from the 16th to the 19th centuries. Okay, so for 300 years, these slave trades were going on. Now, I want you to know that one of the ships that our ancestors were brought to the Americas on from the coast of Africa was called the good ship Jesus. Many of you want to blaspheme Christ by continuously calling him Jesus. And our ancestors were brought over on a ship, or the slaves were brought over on a ship called the good ship Jesus. But you all want to continue to use the word Jesus. Okay? So here we are back in Egypt. Now this is America, but spiritually this is Egypt. But this is the last slavery that we're going to be in as a black folk. This is it right here. After this, some of us will go home and some of us will go into damnation. Okay? Now, here's the meat and potatoes of why I just said all of that. And why we kept going through these things for the past 5,500 years. In and out of slavery, as a black folk. The 12 tribes of Israel. If you do your research, our people have been in and out of slavery for the past 5,500 years. And you Negroes are unaware of the times to come. Satan is going to go one more go at trying to eliminate the people and the children of God. The children of Israel. He's going to go one more go. And if you think, any of you, if you think that you're going to be saved because you got money, because you're an actor, or any type of rich Negro, if you think that's going to save you, you're sadly mistaken. If you think because you're in religion that's going to save you, you're sadly mistaken. If you think just by being somebody who deals with other nations, or I love these white people, I love these white folk over here. You think by hanging with white folk, they might just be trying to set you up. At the end of the day, you are a nigger to the United States of America and everywhere else in this world. You're the only people that don't have an army. You're the only people that are called by two continents, African American. They don't call Chinese people Chinese American. They don't call African people African Africans. They don't call white people Caucasian Americans. Right? You're the only people that are called by two continents. Right? And it's your land over there, black man, black woman, whom they allegedly call the Middle East, but that should be Africa. All of that's Africa. There's no such thing truly as the Middle East. That's hogwash. It's garbage. Let's go to Psalm 78. Psalm 78, and let's read it from the top. Psalms 78. Let's read it from the top. Now please, everybody, listen to what I have to say. Because this is the point to my message right here. Why I told you all of those things. And this is why we're in this mess. Because I'm tired of people, now see, and don't take this the wrong way. I'm tired of people saying that we're in this mess because we didn't follow the commandments. Don't you understand where the law, where the law was weak? The covenant has been made honorable through trust and belief in Yahushua HaMashiach. And people say, well, you're only saying that because you're a lawbreaker. So are you. Because you are in the same boat as everybody else in the past 5,500 years. Over and over and over and over and over, the F-U-C-K again, you Negroes still don't get it. You still want to keep throwing the gavel and you still don't get it. And I used to throw the gavel because I used to have that, that's the way I used to think. And I'm not saying this because I'm up to no good. No, because that's not the case. Are my slanderers still talking? They must want to die. No, not from me. Oh, no. Right? See, it's called reap what you sow. It's called karma. What goes around comes around. So, I'm just telling you all now, this is the reason why we're going through what we're going through. Because no man who walketh in the Spirit can continue to be a sinner. You become reconciled with Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay? I go around, I see people taking pictures and all of this other stuff. I even saw a goddamn Alabama license plate looking at me all crazy. They want to pull off when I turn around and look. Psalm 78. Listen very carefully to what I'm about to say to y'all. Oh, so you don't have to follow the commandment? When have I ever told anybody that they don't have to follow the commandments? What you all don't understand is you don't understand the law. You and your forefathers never ever did understand the law, which is your problem. Does that mean not to wholeheartedly attempt to follow the commandments in good faith? Yeah, that's not what it means. I'm sorry. Sure, you are to, by any means necessary, follow these instructions so that they may go well with you and your seed and that you may live. Absolutely. But there's something that you need to understand. There's something that we kept forgetting over and over and over again, which is the reason why today we have to remember our God. And which is the reason why today we find ourselves, us Negroes, bowing down to wood and stone. And I want you to pay close attention. Psalm 78. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. He tells you right there to listen to his law, right? But I can tell, see, the problem is I can tell you niggas to follow the commandments over and over and over and over and over and over again. But you disrespect the first commandment, you disrespect the second commandment, you disrespect the third commandment, you disrespect the fourth commandment, right? And then when it comes to commandments 5 through 10, when thou shalt love thy brother as thyself, you disrespect all those commandments also. And then, yeah, you can memorize the commandments, but do you understand each commandment? Do you understand that each commandment umbrellas 613 decrees or whatever or whatnot? There's plenty of laws. And many of you Negroes just don't understand these laws. Some of you Negroes can't walk past me without giving me the ice grill. Some of you women can't see me without giving me a smirk or the ice grill, wishing that I probably would drop dead. Psalm 78. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable, and I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, shewing the generation to come, shewing the generation to come, shewing the generation to come, showing the generation to come, showing the generation to come, to show the generation to come, to show the generation to come, to show the generation to come. Show them what? The praises of Yahuwah and his strength and his wonderful works, his wonderful miracles, his miracles that he hath done. There was 500,000 Negroes in the wilderness. 2 people. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Out of 500,000 did not make it to the land of milk and honey. The children that were born in the wilderness, but the people, the 500,000 that came out of the slavery, out of Egypt, the 500,000 Negroes that came out of the grasp of the Egyptians and into the wilderness, Christ murdered them, all in the wilderness, because of their disbelief, because they didn't believe, because they didn't trust in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And many of them trusted Moses. But yet you have men, women, groups that they want to hold themselves to a savior position. Martin Luther King tried that. Christ had to get rid of him. Same thing with the Black Panther man. Christ had to get rid of him. Why? Because it is no individual or group of men that's going to bring us out of this mess. And many of you, I understand, don't see this as a mess, and that is the problem. That's the problem. So you want to show the youth, the children, you want to talk to them and explain to them the works and the miracles that have been done by Yahuwah in the past. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children. Christ established a testimony in Israel and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our forefathers to bring us to remembrance of the miracles, of the power, of the mighty works, of the spiritual things, the powers, the things that miraculously happened, the things that Christ miraculously caused, like splitting the Red Sea. That's a law, a decree here amongst black folk, that we should remind our children of these things. Why? So that they can trust, so that they can believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That way, we don't get led astray by doctrines and foolishness. That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born might know what? The works, the miracles, and even the children that should be born today, my sons, your daughter, they should all know about the powers, the power of Yahuwah. Because to blaspheme the Holy Ruach is the unpardonable sin, which is to become reprobate. If you remain a reprobate, if you remain alienated, if you remain separated from the living Elohim, you're going to burn in hell. Who should arise, so these should be told to them, even the children that are born. The children that are born, who should arise and declare them to their children. So my children are supposed to tell their children and so forth. So I don't think we got all that time, to be honest with you. I may see some grandchildren, I might, but I'm telling you right now, it ain't like how y'all think it is. Trust me. Trust me. Babylon is going to fall. This Babylonian system is going down. I'm telling y'all this right now. I don't know how much time y'all got. I really don't. But I know it's not forever. I'm telling y'all that right now. You should have a different mind frame. So that your children can declare it to their children, that they might set their hope in Elohim. See? So we need to continue to tell that they might set their hope in Elohim and not forget the miracles of God, not forget the works of Elohim, but keep his commandments. This is keeping his commandments Not in its entirety, don't get me wrong. For those who have the trust in Yahushua HaMashiach and keep the commandments. But I'm telling you how you get reconciled back to Elohim so that you may be blameless. I want to make sure them white folk don't go in my car. I got my windows open. I don't want them to. And might, so that they, and keep the commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with Elohim. So you don't want to be like our forefathers back in the wilderness, or our forefathers of the Old Testament in general, right? Because they didn't have the opportunity that we have today. Christ didn't come down here and shew his glory into the children of Israel. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. And I'm going to show you why that's so important. And why us Negroes today have a far better opportunity than the Negroes than our forefathers in the past. The children of Ephraim, being armed and carrying bows, turned back in the day of battle. They kept not the covenant of God. They kept not the covenant of Elohim, and refused to walk in his law, and forgot his works, forgot his miracles, forgot his power, and his wonders that he had showed them. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers, in the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan. He divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also did he lead them with a cloud, and all night with a light of fire. So when our forefathers were walking through the wilderness, it was Christ that was leading them through the wilderness. And by daytime, Christ was the cloud. And by nighttime, he was the fire. This was Christ. Do any of you believe? Now, why are we so wrapped up and why are we so alienated from Yahuwah, from Christ today? Because your mother and your father have been led astray in strange doctrines, and they not believe. Your grandfather and your great-grandmother and your great-great-grandmother and your great-great-great-grandfather and your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather were not told of the miracles, and on and on and